Hello, and welcome to the Comedian's Paradise. This podcast where we speak to clowns and comedians from across the comedy world. Now, today's guest is an absolute clown storm. She's come all the way from Croatia just for this podcast. Her name is Iva Peter Dragan. She's the founder of the world-famous Zagreb Clown Festival, where she gets clowns like David Shiner and, of course, John Townsend. It's a worldwide festival, and she runs it through a fantastic theatre and clown company, Triko Theatre. Let's
Hello.
welcome her to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Now, for anyone that it's mostly a stand-up comedy podcast, but for anyone that hasn't heard about you, tell us a bit about who you are and how you got to where you are today.
So, as you said, my name is Iva Peter Dragan, and I'm the artistic director of Zagreb Clown Festival, a festival that has been running already for 6 years. 2026 is going to be our 7th year. And the funny fact is that we started the festival just 2 days before the corona hit, and we were stopped in the middle. So our first festival was a failure. Hey, and that's something that we clowns have to face every day, and that's something that we accept. So, but after that first failure, because we had to stop it after the first festival, after first 2 days, well, everything since then has been running in an amazing way. We are really overwhelmed and grateful, and we, as an organizer team, we still cannot believe that we've managed to put together such a great artists who have come to Zagreb, and Zagreb is really a small city, to share their art and their knowledge. So yes, over the years we have had John Townsend teaching, Nola Ray, David Shiner, Bill Irvin. We had Avner the Eccentric, and this coming year we are going to have Pepa Plana from Spain. And this is a little secret. This is how do you say, exclusive news just for you.
Keep it a secret, guys. Don't tell anyone else.
No.
Okay, and for anyone that like, what is your journey per se for you? Like, how did you become like a performer and like an artistic director? What was the thought process for it? Like, you were like, right, there's not that many festivals where I am now, and I want to just bring on all the best clowns, and boom, that was it.
Well, I'm just reading a very nice book about Movement Theatre International by Michael Pedretti, and he has coined a really interesting phrase, and this is a phrase, a reluctant leader. So this is me. First of all, I'm a performer and a clown, and my journey in performing goes a long way from my school days. And then after I became a student, we had the student theater group, and I was always into this performing. We would say in performing waters in Croatia. We would say like this. My aim was not to become a professional performer. I was studying literature and English language, so I was kind of planning of becoming a teacher, but. Sometime it was about 2001 that I discovered the circus world in a new way. So outside of circus tents, through workshops, I was in Berlin accidentally, and I saw a show. And this show kind of changed my life, because it was Bulgakov's, we say, how would the translation go? Master and Margarita. Well, in this novel, it's a huge novel, Margarita becomes a witch. And in this particular show, she was becoming a witch. It took, I don't know, 10 minutes and maybe less, but for me, it changed my life. She did it on aerial silks. And this was 20 years ago. Now it's very common. We see aerial silks everywhere. But 20 years ago, believe me, this was something astonishing, something that would take your breath away. And I realized, yes, this is the kind of theater I want to do. I was always inclined towards physical theater, not necessarily physical comedy, but definitely physical theater. And one of the reasons I didn't want even to try to go to the Academy of Dramatic Arts in Zagreb is that their work was based on vocal expression and on speech. And this is something I was not interested in. But when I saw this show, I decided that this is kind of the way I want to go. And in 2000, we didn't have YouTube. And in Croatia, rarely anybody had internet. So it was really hard to get the information. But I did find something with the help of my friend. I found something in Italy and I started my circus journey. And after a few years of doing circus professionally and never finishing the faculty and never started my teaching career, because I was lucky enough to raise interest in Croatian theater into the new circus, contemporary circus, and I could get work out of my skills, which were at that time walking on the stilts and doing aerial acrobatics. And after some 7 or 8 years, I met Lee DeLong, who completely changed my life in a way that I became very not interested. I became completely obsessed, infatuated by the whole philosophy of theater clown. And why I'm going now back to the reluctant leader after 10 years of doing a lot of clowning and finishing my PhD on the subject of clowning and performing. I realized that in Croatia we cannot offer our audience good quality clown shows. I mean,
Yeah.
you have certainly a section of clowns, and most of us, when you ask anybody on the street who a clown is, what a clown is, he or she would tell you that it's a character with a red nose, with a big wig and shoes, and doing all this kind of kiddie clown stuff. And this is what I kind of wanted to change. I wanted to change that perception. It's hard, but I wanted to try. And then I realized that bringing good quality artists from all over the world is the only solution. And this is how I became a reluctant leader, leading a festival, a clown festival in Zagreb that has luckily, with the help of all the artists who were our guests in the past 6 years, all the volunteers and the entire crew, has become a successful festival and a place where people meet. Not only they don't only come to perform, but in those 4 days, and we always try to have all the artists all the time. It's depending, of course, of their schedule, if they're available to stay there for 4 days, because they perform only once. Each artist performs only one performance, but this energy of getting together before and after the shows is really amazing, and it has formed many partnerships, even intimate partnerships, different things, very good energy flowing in this form of the festival where we are really together all the time, but only for 4 days.
Okay. And with with the festival itself, I think a lot of the times when you're doing a festival, a lot of people don't understand the hard work and the dedication it takes to put on such a good festival. And for anyone that's like looking in right now, what is, yeah, how much, what does it, what's, how much preparation, how much work, and what do you need to do to put on a good clown festival? What are the things that people don't see?
Well, I mean, when you put up a festival, of course, you have to first think what kind of festival you want to have. Some people, like me, we do festivals because there is nobody else in the field that want to do the festival with such a topic. Let's say, in my case, clowns. Sometimes people are just more producer organized, and they look for a theme. They're already very skilled in organizing, but they look what is something that would be lucrative for the audience. So each of this approach can have a problem, and our problem was, of course, that we are not educated producers in the sense that we know everything, we know the system, we know how the things work. But we were at many festivals, and kind of intuitively we managed to put the festival together. But it is a lot of work. I would say it's a non-stop work. I don't say that I think of the festival every second of my day, but there is not a single day, it doesn't matter if it's a holiday or if I'm on the vacation, that I don't think of the festival, think what could work better, or what are the little details that we could enhance, who are the artists that are at the moment interesting to the audience, and the artists who are willing not to share just their performance, but their ways of life, their philosophy. So it does take the immense energy to put up a festival. Of course, there are certain kind of, we have a yearly schedule that we respect and always try to fulfill each task on time. And it's really, before New Year's we always release an open call. Then during January we receive a lot of applications. Last year we got 67 applications, so we have to go. There is a team of 3 of us who go through the shows, and this year I have to proudly announce that we will have a 4th member of our how do you say, artistic team in terms of choosing the artists, and that's John Towson, because we really needed an outside eye. Kind of, the 3 of us do it for a long time now. So okay, to make things a bit shorter, that of course there are applications for money that we do throughout the year. There are sponsors that we try also to get, that we do throughout the year. The most of work comes after. So for January, choosing the shows from all the applications that we have gathered, and then there is a technical part for booking hotels, making sure that everybody's coming, knowing their schedules. So the work is becoming like more intensive until like last 10 days and the days of the festival, where we burn. We even decided, 3 of us who are producing, who are like really managing the show, to also be in the hotel with the artists together, so not even to go home, because every minute, there is something in the middle of the night. Every minute is work, but it's very exciting and it's very fulfilling. And of course, the wrap up of the festival, after the festival, writing reports, thank you letters, and yeah. So I think every festival has the same kind of system, and the little things that you feel it with, the little peculiarities that make your festival different than the other festival, are maybe something that can make the festival dear in the artists who are attending it.
Okay. But in terms of, like, you said that what about in terms of getting people to come to the festival, like audience members? That must be a hard slog as well.
Wow, that's definitely the hardest thing. And that's something that, I mean, so in 2025, we had our 6th year of the festival, and we decided to make 2 changes. One was to change the theater where we were performing the festival, because before we still do have a very good cooperation with the big theater. That, I mean, this is now probably going to sound very funny to a big country, but for us, a big audience, auditorium is 270 seats. We are a nation of only 3.8 million, and Zagreb has only 700,000 people. So we had a big theater of 270 seats, and we always had problems filling the space up. And I mean, of course, it sounds silly, but it's like this. But still, there was always 100 people who would always come, and I would always see 2 or 3 new people who were previously, I mean, from the audience who were previously not at all interested in clown, not even being aware of the art of clowning today, but they were hooked, kind of. Uh, they were impressed, and they would come back. So, but what is the problem when you have a auditorium that is only half filled? It's hard. Clowning is the art where you need the full house. You need the energy. You have to be close to your audience, and if they're just scattered here and there, it's it takes away something from the show itself. So we decided to change it to our studio. And our studio can seat only 120 people, but we had even though we went, I mean, financially, it's a bad decision, definitely, but artistically, it was a great decision. And we had always full house, and the shows, it's like an added value, this energy that flows between the artist and the full house. I have to say, full house, not just the audience, is amazing and really spices up every show. This is one of the decisions that we made, and this is actually connected to your question about getting the audiences, because still, when you advertise a clown show, it's all about, oh, I'll phone my sister, she has two small children, so they'll come together. And it's not. This is clown world for the grown-ups. Of course, it's not. Nothing is a big controversy. Nothing is well, doesn't have to be in a way that it's provocative sexually or anything, so that it's not suitable for children. But it's not what children and their parents expect when they say, oh, we go to a clown show. They expect just some juggling and some laughing and maybe some confetti. This is what they expect, and then they are not able to take this other part. And this part is something very emotional, something that when you exit the theater, you have a lot of thoughts. You kind of, reminiscence your life, thinking of many different things. So it's kind of, it's not just all fun. And when I leave the theater, I will forget it. It's something that stays with you. It doesn't have to be a burden. Not at all. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be depressive. It's rare. It rarely is. Clown is always maybe not very cheerful, but leaves leaves you in an optimistic place after seeing. So this is the problem that we are facing, and that probably will change maybe in 20 years with some next generation. But even though having this burden, we actually still decided to continue as long as it goes. We don't want that fact to frighten us.
Okay. What do I want to say about the? So with the clown festival itself, what have been the biggest moments where you've learned in terms of what the moments in the festival that have taught you the most? Like either when things have gone wrong or when things have gone perfectly.
Oh, well, as I told you, we had, we would say in Croatian, I don't know how to translate this, vatreno krštenje. Well, we had this first year flop of being, just stopped in the middle of the festival after we did the entire booking contracts, advertising, so we already had the biggest challenge of all. And this is when you prepare everything and everything is ready, and it's just outside of your power. It's nothing that you can do. So kind of we take the festival, although we do really prepare well, and we try to kind of think of every possible thing that could go wrong. We also rely on the universe, so kind of, okay, there is a lot of stress, there is a lot of work, people are here, but everything is going to be okay. And I think this kind of, I'm often a control freak, but
Oh,
you cannot organize a festival yourself. One person cannot organize a festival, I'm sure. So what I learned from myself is to let go and to have more confidence in people who are together in the team. So I think for me personally, that has been the biggest lesson. And yeah, the challenges were really only fun challenges, like, oh, will I dare or will I not dare to call Gardi to perform? Is she going to
Oh,
think we are too small a festival? Gardi is a Swiss clown, really a great clown, and we've had in history great Swiss clowns like Grok and Dimitri, and definitely Gardi is the name in the whole world now. So things like this, when I'm feeling like a little girl and I think I'm going to offend somebody if I call somebody or to teach, contacting Bill Irvin has been also a lot of stress. I mean, I'm calling Bill Irvin, and it's me. It's just Iva from Zagreb, but you learn that all these people, no matter how famous and successful they are just normal human beings and very open and accessible. I mean, also working with David Shiner, and with him we worked a lot because he lives in Munich, which is close to Zagreb. It's just like 500 kilometers. So he comes often to Zagreb. He was touring with us, you know. Oh shit! I forgot what I was telling about, but never mind. I just wanted to say how all these artists are really good people. We always have our ups and downs. We have our good or bad days, but like, if we are humans, we have to understand each other. And yes, your initial question was what were my biggest challenges? So yes, maybe this also, yes, contacted the artists who are who are legends, and now like I'm calling them. So, but I kind of overgrew this fear. Now it's easier.
okay. But that, yeah, Gardi Hoot is someone I've heard a lot about. I mean, I've heard amazing things how she does our amazing shows across different countries across the world, and she does it with no words or anything. It's just all, well, no, she doesn't without any speaking to the crowd or something. That's what I've heard.
No, yes, it's completely physical comedy. She doesn't have a language as such, She uses some gibberish, murmuring, or how would I say? She doesn't go directly to the audience in sense that she talks to them or does something with them as volunteers or something. But she has this very subtle way of always letting her audience know that she knows we are there. She doesn't pretend that we are not there. And then there is I don't know, a sneeze in the 10th row. She will address this sneeze. There is a father going out with a small child who needs to pee, probably. I don't know. She will address this, and at the same time she's telling her story, and from her character she addresses everything, every little live thing, unpredicted thing that is going on in the auditorium. So yes, she's really amazing. She's been, you know she is a master. Absolute master in every way. And in teaching, I was lucky enough to attend one of her workshops in Torino clown festival called Il Pagliacce Festival, and it has been really life-changing 3 days. She was working on different acts of 6 artists, and when you see how she thinks about the theater, how she thinks about getting the audience, how she thinks about every detail in maintaining the attention of the audience all the time, you learn a lot, and you hope one day, some young girls have role models like, I don't know, Rihanna, and my role models are definitely Lead Along and Gardi Hooter. I want to be like them.
What is it about? I've not heard of Lil DeLong, but for people that haven't heard about Lil DeLong, like comedians,
Lead
Lil
Along.
DeLong, what is it that's so amazing about her? Like,
Oh, she's an amazing clown teacher. I mean, of course, she's my first clown teacher, but it doesn't matter. She still is amazing clown teacher. She's a American woman who now lived most of her life in Paris after she finished the Lecoq School in Paris. She has been teaching really all around the world, and she not only teaches the performers who are interested in physical comedy, but she also works with all kinds of professional performers, with opera singers, with dancers, with
Oh.
puppeteers who will not what?
Whoa, that's quite a wide range. Puppeteers and opera
Yeah,
singers.
but
Whoa.
she teaches them no, she teaches them clowning, and she
Whoa.
teaches them clowning as something as a base for all kinds of performing arts. So those people, opera singers and puppeteers, they will not necessarily. She even had a course with animation. How do you call when you draw comics? Animators. She was working with them not in the sense that they are going to become clowns. This is not important. They might never perform clown on stage, but the work they get from her, the sense of timing, the sense of honesty, the importance of you know giving something from yourself and not hiding, putting the masks on, but opening up, being able to fail successfully. We fail to fail successfully. These are the kind of things that make clown techniques basic for every other performing art field. So Lee DeLong is a master of sharing the knowledge and taking away the layers that you with which we are hiding ourselves, and just showing ourselves, because this is very important in the time of AI and everything that can be done with this. The only thing that remains is personal disclosure, in a way that we show, really we don't try to be perfect in every way, but we try to be honest in every way.
Yeah. By
So that's
honest, you embrace what's in the situation, what's there on stage.
exactly what's there on stage, and also who you are. You try to be honest and not to pretend that you're better than the rest. No, clown is the one who is the lowest. He's below the audience in a way, not necessarily physically. Stages and auditoriums can be different, but in the
Mm.
status, clown is the lowest of all the performers, and he's lower in status of the audience. In a way, every performer is there for his or her audience, but they maybe try to, and it's fine. It's just different approach. They try to be like very, how do you say, very dramatic, or they try to shine. And when you and by this, sometimes they can impress, but they can also divide. Clowns, he comes out trying not to hide, which is very hard. It's a skill that you learn over many years, and you may never learn it fully, because we are taught in the society that we have to be good, we have to fulfill this task, we have to fulfill this task, we have to be successful in school, we have to look good, and this is something that you break through clowning, and it's hard because it's so much a part of you. But it's still rewarding, I think, for the artists. And if you can, and I don't always succeed, I try to apply this to my life also, to function in this way. I'm just in one of the hotels in eastern Croatia, and they have a really like very interesting sentence in the restaurant. They say, laugh at yourself. And this is very healthy, I think. This is the basic of clowning. I laugh at myself, and with me, the audience laugh. And through laughing at myself, I mean, they only laugh because they recognize so many things that are the same in their lives. All these little failures are like a part of every one of us, no matter how successful in terms of career we are or how beautiful we are. There are all these little successes that are basically human and that don't uh, that are not connected with any special culture or mentality, that are just human. So this is what actually makes the strongest connection between clown and his audience.
There's no layers. You're just there like of an actor. It's all like if in a theatre play. There's like a big wall between the audience and the performer. Clown breaks that wall. Like when Gardi Hooter's doing her shows, she's doing her show and she's doing clowning. But if there's a silly moment there, she'll address it and she'll make it part of the show.
Absolutely, absolutely. And something I don't know if you said that you finished Goliath school,
Yeah,
or
and what you
been
said.
participating, having a workshop. Well, anyhow, what I didn't learn with Goliath, but I read his books and I heard his podcast, and there's something that is very interesting that he said. The difference between an actor and a clown, and he depicted it very clearly. He said there is a role of Oedipus, and there is an actor coming to stage to deliver a monologue, a very serious monologue. But unfortunately, the shoe, the sandal of that particular actor breaks. I mean, physically, it breaks. It was not predicted. Maybe it was not made well. The actor will anyhow continue to deliver his very serious monologue and try to kind of hide the fact that his shoe is broken, and because what is important is the monologue. And he says the clown will come to deliver this speech of Oedipus, and if his shoe breaks, the whole thing has to be then, well, it doesn't have to be, but that moment the shoe is stronger than the monologue, and the whole performance revolves around the broken shoe. So this effect, addressing the moments that are truthful, for like physically, we are physically there and there is a broken shoe and the audience sees it, and the clown sees it, and there is the problem, and there is the theme. How I don't know if I've been so clear as Goliath has put it, but I always found it a very good example, because of course every actor feels his audience, but they're like, clown is allowed to stop and address the truthful moment, the thing that is happening now. And that's why most of the clowns, of course, there are famous duos and trios, but a lot of clown work alone, because it's easier this way, to really accept what is going on at the moment. The actors, they can't do this. They have a script that they have to go through. They have a dramaturgy that goes from the beginning to the end, that somebody else has written, so they have to respect this. Clown is very often his own dramaturg and his own director, so he can be more flexible, he can improvise more.
That what you said there is stand-up comedians as well. That's the same sort of thing. Most are on their own, and they're their own performer, actor, and director. 100%. The only, and yeah, comedians do that as well in terms of if someone heckles or they get a line wrong, they address it or they play with it. But um, I think the biggest thing is clown is a lot more physical than stand-up. Stand-up's more what you think rather than what you're doing on stage.
Absolutely, that's why I think not the fact is that the clowns address what is human in us, the basic human problems that everybody has, no matter if he lives in India or in America or in Croatia. These are things of getting food, of getting shelter, of being annoyed by little things, of the importance of finding a partner, love, emotions that we really do feel. There are 6 basic emotions anthropologists have taught us about this. And that's why it's, well, it's good for clowns, right? It's easier for them, not easier, but it's just the way to express emotions, and not to kind of, put up your own idea or your own opinion on that emotion, or how it should be accepted, or whatever, is to express it physically. And then your audience can interpret this in the way they want. It gives them a lot of freedom to co-create the number, the show, whatever. So I think that's one of the things that is very good for clowns, that they're mostly physical, so they can really perform anywhere. They're not only addressing the topics that are international, but being international, because body language is, of course, not everywhere the same, but those basic emotions and facial expressions are, and everybody can understand them. On the other hand, being very physical means that you have to train a lot, and you have to train through the whole of your life, really. Physical things, being in the gym, not only doing the things that are necessarily very attractive to your senses, like somersaults or something, but you really have to be physically prepared, because even where you wear, still every muscle of your body works. For example, if you ever watched a show of Nola Ray, and little pieces can be found on YouTube. She was a ballerina first, and then she worked with mime, and she kind of, used the mime skills in her clown shows, which were like 1.5 hours. She doesn't seem to move a lot, but every muscle of her body works. So yes, physicality is something that is great for the clowns, is absolutely necessary, but it implies a lot of work, because your body is your instrument, and just like musicians, they have to practice every day. This is with clowns too. I think I think it's just very important. It's essential.
But what you said there was a bit what they say with a lot of films, isn't it? With good writing, they say you show what you're trying to say. You don't tell them. You let other people figure out what's going on. A good like show, a good sort of writing shows what you want to say, and it's clear, and they'll be able to see what you're doing. You don't have to tell them everything specifically, and that's what they say also in a lot of Hollywood films now. The writing is quite poor, in that they're saying that yeah, they
Well, yeah, the thing is that it's we of unfortunately, we do live in the world where, I don't know, people just want to hide, all the time, and they don't want to be. I think I see around, I see a lot of young people, they just want to be closed and not be touched by anything. And I think by letting by giving people finished scripts with everything inside, they're like, it's easier for them to digest this thing, and that's why this kind of films are very popular. They the income is good, and but not many people want to take the risk of, you don't want to feel, you just, you want to see something, you want to just, have a great time and forget about it when you leave. Whereas good theater, this is also what I recently read, is, I mean, of course I know this, but it was nicely put in words. It has to give you some kind of satisfaction in a way of sensation of what you see, what you receive, but it has to be also addressing your emotional life, and it has to make you think. And these two, if you have just one, it's not enough. But mostly today, we only have this one. We just want a spectacle. We don't want to think, and we don't want to feel. And in clown, it doesn't go with, uh, uh, it's not a clown if it doesn't have all three. That's why what they say there is a lot of bad clowning. I mean, there is a lot of bad theater. It's like this, there's a lot of bad music.
bad
There's a lot
stand
of
up
bad,
too.
yeah, there's, sometimes I was just talking to a professional actor who attended Avner's workshop in Croatia this year on the festival, but she didn't come to see a single show. And I said, "Why are you not coming in the evening to see the shows?" And she said, "Oh, I don't want to see clowns." I said, "But you're on the workshop, you know, these are the people, this is the same philosophy. Why do you have a need to learn about techniques of the clown and not see a clown show?" And she told me exactly this: "I saw so much bad clowning." And I told her, "But you also saw a lot of bad theater. I mean, it's just like this. Of course, we try to make a selection. We try to make it good. And I'm not saying about, she didn't say this about our festival. She said generally. But I just want to say that you can't always have it perfect. I mean, you also go to dinner and there is a bad dinner and then it's a good dinner. But you know, it's just how it is. I understand that some people cannot accept being emotionally touched. For example, my sister, she comes to see the shows in the festival, but she said, you know, can they just don't look at me? I don't want them to look at me. And I was just thinking, oh wow. Yeah, she said, I just came there to sit in the dark. This is, you know, these are the different, and I like to be engaged, not necessarily physically, but I, as an audience member, I like to be engaged. I like to look at the show like this, and I like to think about the show later. So this year we very very interesting thing that Avner, the eccentric Avner Eisenberg, said in the workshop: clown doesn't have to cross the like personal boundaries that we have, because often teaching is, you know, you have to go beyond your limits, you have to cross the comfort zone. He says we don't have to cross our comfort zone, we don't have to go outside of our comfort zone, but we have to stretch our comfort zone and make it bigger. And this is, I think, what's going to be, well, it's the topic of our next festival, is just stretching the comfort zone. This is hard. This is, I think, the basic of everything these days. It's hard to stretch. You know, we all have our personal space, personal boundaries, blah, 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 blah. It's fine. We have to respect this. But if, in order to be human and to be touched by other human, we have to be able to stretch our comfort zone a bit.
Why does the performer need to stretch it to touch people emotionally, physically, and all? No, not physically. That's wrong. Like emotionally, and like have an effect on the audience.
Well, exactly this. You have to go, you know, you have to, how do you say, disclose more that than at the moment maybe you are willing to disclose. You know, you have to show your bad sides, your vulnerability, you know. This is everything of this is actually stretching your comfort zone. And by stretching your comfort zone, you you are more honest to your audience. I don't know if I'm being clear or if it's being clear to in a way that, you know, as I said, in everyday life you just close everything, you just, you know, protect. There's a shield for this, shield for this. Oh, I don't want to do this, this is beyond my comfort zone, you know. By showing them that you as a performer, you are willing to stretch your comfort zone and share the uneasiness on stage. It doesn't have to be bad. I don't say it has to be bad, but you know, sharing this uneasiness and being really vulnerable is already stretching the comfort zone. And if I want that my audience members stretch their comfort zone, I have to first stretch mine. So it's like this. It's not easy. I mean, it's very complicated. It sounds complicated, but you know, clowning is the art where you just have to always work, always experiment, always try. And nothing is finished once the show is open. Nothing is finished because every night can be different. Of course, there is a structure, you do a show, but all the little things that you are, I would say, even obliged to accept that are happening in the theater are making the show go a little bit different direction. You have a creek that goes there, and then you go back to the mainstream and things like this. I mean, the mainstream of your of your performance, of what you planned ahead. But you always have to be ready to, to go beyond the comfort zone, or stretch it more.
So, is there any performance that you look at, either stand up or with acting or with music, who you would say are actually good clowns without them realizing?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I even had luck to share the stage with one. Fortunately, he passed away some years ago. It was a legendary Croatian clown, Pero Kvrgic, and he was really, I mean, if he was ever, it was for him, he was a classical actor, like he played in different dramas, but he was very natural in feeling all these things, being very simple, being physical. Physical doesn't mean that you have to do like crazy things, but being aware of every finger on his hands, every toe, the whole body was in service of the play, and he really would feel what the audience, how the audience would respond. Often, most of the time, the script would not allow him to cross this fourth wall, but he would be very intuitive and very alive. Whereas many actors, unfortunately, just use their voices. I speak, but he was really, really amazing. And I also, although he was not a clown, I learned a lot of him from him as for my clown. So this is one of the people. I mean, I could now mention mostly clowns, but that was not the question, because I'm such an addict. I try to see every clown show that whenever I travel. First thing I look if there is some clown show, then if not clown show, circus show, which could feature a clown or something. But I would say that, you know, all these people who are really, really, really open about themselves, like Leonard Cohen, I would not say he was a clown literally, but he was able to disclose a lot through his poems, for example. So this is share personal stuff. I don't know if I'm being clear or not, but yeah.
I know that what's his face, a good clown and theatre show that I saw is Julia Masley when she did a ha 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 show. That was really good.
Oh, I didn't see it. I didn't see
That
it.
was something. She
This
was
is what you did. You see it on Edinburgh Fringe or in New York or?
Edinburgh Fringe, so she did this thing where she got this golden foot, and she would ask, "What's your problem?" and then she would somehow go and sort it out. I was talking to before the show. I was in there, and if you're on your own, with me myself, I'll start chatting to people there just to be friendly, because I don't want to be on my own. And I was talking to this girl there, and she was a lesbian, but it turns out when the Julia went in, got the golden foot, and she said, "What's your problem?" She goes, "I haven't told my friend that I'm a lesbian." And then she did it in the show. She called her and she said, "I'm a lesbian." And then it was something beautiful about that, and it was funny. And then Julia said to message it, but I thought that in that moment there was something there. There was something unique that no one else.
Exactly.
If people weren't there, they wouldn't know what it was like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is true. You see, this is when you try to retell what happened on a clown show. It's just nothing. But when you're there, these are the emotions I'm telling you about that play a vital part in the dramaturgy of the clown. You cannot retell them to a friend after the show if he was not there. These moments, as you say, that they're like crazy, crazy uh moments, really, like of pure magic, and this magic is there at that second, and you cannot retell it to somebody. It's not like this is definitely something that makes me always want to see more and more and more clown shows.
Mm. But that's the one that hit me.
Good.
But in terms, what's been good? Yeah, in Edinburgh Fringe, there's a lot of good stuff there, but there's a lot of stuff that is a bit samey. I mean,
Uh-huh.
what you said there is for a lot of performers. You want to be affected by the performer, or you remembered. Even if you're hated, you don't want to go around ruining someone's day or anything like that. But if you're remembered by a lot of the audiences, you bring something different. But a lot of the times, people don't want to be too, as you said, vulnerable or different, because then they get ridiculed or they get, they stand out too much, and people don't like that. They want to be able to fit
Hmm.
in a group. They don't want to be like with 20 people saying, "Oh, look at that weirdo over there," sort of thing. But don't know what I want to get at. Yeah, in the Edinburgh Fringe, I've seen a lot of shows where they don't necessarily have an effect on you, but they just make you laugh. But there's a comedian I know called Frank Sinatra,
Uh-huh.
and he's a very unique act, and he says you want to have an effect on people. You don't want to be bland. And he does a bit. He goes like China, and he did some Donald Trump impression. But yeah, you want to have an effect on audience. You want to be different, and you want originality. And from yourself as a whole, what's been a non-clown show that you've seen that has that affected you?
A non-clown show that has affected me. Well, recently, now you got me. I mean, I go to theater a lot. I saw Akram Khan just recently. He's a very famous British dancer. I mean, he was not performing himself, but it's a show that he directed a long time ago, and it's a solo show, and it is based on his life. So I saw that, and this was really amazing in every way. I mean, what I was telling, there were like beautiful dance with the beautiful images going on the screen. So my sensational part was prime. Then emotional, from the emotional perspective, he was sharing with us his personal journey. I mean, and something that we can always all recognize and we can all relate to. Like, of course, his father never wanted him to be a dancer. He said he should better work in the kitchen somewhere, and something where you have food. So this part, emotional part, we could really relate to him, and this thing, like, that made me think and made me grateful that I decided to pursue my dreams. Although my father also didn't want me to be a clown naturally or a performer, he would better like to have me be a teacher. So all these things I can relate to. So I think that was really an outstanding performance that I saw. And also, I mean, okay, you asked for non-clowns. I always go back to clowns, but this was a non-clown. Akram Khan's show. Very nice. I forgot the name. I have to say the name of the show, but it was amazing.
Now, for anyone that's listening right now, so in the stand-up world, there's a lot of great things about it, but there are a lot of things that do need to be changed in it. One of the things is the Edinburgh Fringe is too expensive and it's pricing people out from certain backgrounds. And you don't want just a certain kind of person just to go there. You want people from all backgrounds to be there, and I think it'll make the festival a bit poor. To be honest, you need variety in it. Um, Another thing is, yeah, the pay in comedy hasn't gone up since the 90s because there's so many comedians now. It's now a promoter's market, so they can choose who they have, and they don't need to increase the fees. Now, for yourself, being in a clown world, what are things you've noticed? Because in a lot of performing arts, we like to pretend things are rosy and cozy. I've mixed with comedians, I've mixed with clowns, mixed with theatre people. Anyone that says things are rosy cozy are talking a load of crap. There's all sorts of things in it that need to be changed in a lot of them. There's bad, there's good. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I agree with you completely. Things are not great, but I think we learned to swim through the shitstorm. David Schneider says it's a shitstorm, but you learned how to survive in the shitstorm. I don't know how to change it. I mean, in Croatia, like clowning and circus is still. I mean, it's marginalized everywhere, but in Croatia, it's even more. And we managed somehow. I now when you ask me, I'm just wondering how do we manage. But of course, we do some gigs that help us, pay our bills, like, walk on the stilts, still doing the things that we do like and that we enjoy and that makes us practice, but also bring food to the table, and that buy you time to do clowning. I mean, sometimes of course you also earn by clowning, and I mean, yeah, I don't know. You really kind of got me now thinking. I
Ah,
cannot say anything specific of, I don't know. Yeah, things are not good, but they're also not bad. And because, as I said, we are learned to swim in this. I don't know how they could be changed. If you try to set some rules and standards, I think a lot would change for the worse in aesthetics. We claim a lot of freedom in clowning, and that's why also some of the things that are the background of clowning, maybe for that reason, cannot be really systemized, because we want freedom here. So here you have like what you have, you have a chaos. It's not a chaos, it's not a negative chaos. It's just you have to adjust. You can choose what you can adjust to. For example, I went to Brighton Fringe 3 years ago with the show by Lee DeLong, and I mean, I I definitely thought, okay, I'll never go to this festival again, because I felt, no, I mean, it's not about the festival, not about the artists who performed there, but as a festival director myself, and seeing how they treat artists. I mean, why, things like this. So it's on me to decide. Somebody will love the Fringe, Brighton. I don't want to offend anybody. It was just not for me. I just want to say it was not for me. I did not feel welcome there. I did not feel good. But some people maybe like this kind of system. So I think we all have to, in same way as we choose our topics, and we choose our expression, we choose if we are clowns, and by choosing that we are clowns, we have to accept that the system is shattered. And if I choose to be an opera singer, I'm 100% sure that it's more organized in their world. Maybe it's just something that seems to me, but I'm sure it is. Or, if I wanted just to become an actress, and in Croatia we have a lot of institutionalized theater where you work full time as an actress, then you have system, you have paycheck every first of the month, you have health insurance, everything, so it's what you choose. I would never choose my clown, how do you say, aesthetics, even though it brings also the bad things coming to, like organization rights, uh, acknowledging the importance of clowns. I would never change it, and with, for example, institutionalized theater, or even though they have unions, they're more systematic. I would not do it. Some people maybe would. We have to choose, and if we choose also the both sides of the card. It's like this.
so you're saying that there's there's going to be negatives or things that we have to deal with. You got to choose what's worth struggling for.
Oh, there are definitely negative things you have to deal with, but yes, there
Choose
are.
your
I mean,
struggle.
you need to struggle first. The reception, when you ask me about the theater, about the festival, and if we get enough audience, I mean, there is already stigma about clown, just about the character of the clown, and this already you have to struggle, if you don't want just to juggle three balls, so yeah, I think it's just, for example, I mean, it's like the same, like when I live a little bit outside of Zagreb, and I'm very happy because I have a big garden. I have a beautiful view from my terrace. It's peaceful, not a lot of people, but I have to travel every day to town. But I choose to live in peace and spend a little bit more time on traveling. Other people, they don't want to spend time on traveling, but then they get crowded places, buildings with apartments with a lot of noise. So it's a decision. I'm like this. Somebody else is like that. I mean, as I said, there's always two sides of everything. it depends if you, what is important is to be able to handle both sides, you know. If you can just handle one side, then you have to change and find another ticket, and you have to be able to handle both sides of the coin. You say coin, sorry, both sides of the coin, we say ticket.
Yeah. Now, for anyone that's listening in right now and they're a performer, what is a quote that you'd like to share, and what is one single bit of advice you'd like to give that you've not already shared?
Well, the quote I think is the most important, and I will repeat it because I already said it, and it's just like, laugh at yourself. This is very important. And what was the other question? Sorry, you asked me.
What's one bit of advice that you'd like to share? That, I mean, I think you've killed two birds with one stone there, but
Yeah, okay, well, definitely, but yeah, I would like to share is really, not only in performing but also in everyday life, consider stretching the comfort zone. Yeah, stretching the comfort zone would be the advice.
okay. And for anyone that wants to find out about you, how do they find out about you?
So we have all of these platforms, like social media, and we of course also have internet sites. So what you can do is just Google Zagreb Clown Festival. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram, and by this you'll get a contact of our team, and you'll be connected to our theater, Triko Circus Theater, because we often do also during the year we have some master classes. And what I realized that on Zagreb Clown Festival we always have a master class, and we had a lot of international people. So mostly people come to Zagreb for those 4 days to do a workshop and see a festival. So we also have other events during the year that you can, maybe attend to if you're interested. We run a big aerial acrobatic studio, so we have also professional aerialists coming to teach an intensive and things like this. So
Okay.
like us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. What did I forget? I don't know.
Right. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. We got a few interesting guests that I can't reveal yet coming up in the next few months. But if you like this episode, give us a review on Amazon, Apple, Spotify, and join the Patreon. If you didn't, just keep it all to yourself and be quiet about it, okay?
Okay.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah.